Hello, everybody. Again, it's been a little bit. Hope everyone's having a great summer. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about the changes that happened in Firefall Pass on the July patch. And honestly, I'm really excited about this one. There's a lot of good things coming out of this, and let me explain everything why. Um, Good changes. Like, that's really the only thing I could say. So there was a little issue, and let's just get that out of the way, where when the patch came up, Diablo Camp only had one placeholder up. They acknowledged it. It was a bug and it was hotfixed like within a day or so. So good for them for getting it fixed, and that's no longer an issue. So what they did here is for all the name in the zone, and if you weren't familiar with it before, it had a lot of placeholders for each names. And basically the mechanics of spawning a name is the more placeholders you have, and if your group is unable to clear them all, it actually makes it harder to spawn the name. So the basic formula is a dev will set the spawn rate to value of X, whatever it is. So for just simplicity's sake, let's say it's 20% spawn rate of a name. If there happens to be five placeholders, then the spawn rate is going to be 4% for each spot. If there happens to be four placeholders, then it's 5% per spot. And if your group is unable to clear all the placeholders, well, then, it makes it harder to spawn. So that being said, now there's only like 3 to 5 placeholders for each name. Again, I don't know the percentages. That's something internal, a number that they assign for each or whatever it is. But it's easier to spawn now. They also increased the chances of the tier 1 augs of dropping from names. So, for example, that's going to be the core, the jangle, the intelligent wisdom aug, things like that. That the community has been saying, hey, it's really not easy to get. The drop rate's like 1% or something like that. So they acknowledged it. I personally haven't seen the T1 augs more. I guess anything is better than 1%, but we'll see. At least if the name are spawning more, which from the feedback that I had, people have told me, and from what I've seen, the names are definitely spawning better. So hopefully that takes into account the drop rates of the new ones. So the part that I am most happy about here, and I think this is a great change, especially for summertime where numbers are low and it gives people something to do. Okay, so this is what I liking. If you look, they're they're trash mobs, replacing the name. So before it was the sentient, and now they just add everything. So they're maintaining a zone mob density because Firefall Pass, for what it's worth, it is a pretty popular zone for EXP groups grinding, just sitting out, hanging out, which is nice. So for the bug, the roamer ones were the placeholders. They replaced it with more weak mobs. Like this was a placeholder. Um, this was a placeholder, this was a placeholder, things like that. So they reduced it, but added the weak mobs, and that's the part that I'm liking a lot. If you're interested in the bug one, the roamer placeholders are on this side of the ravine. If you're looking for the little dinosaur thing, there are only three now. If you see, before they're like lined up this entire row here, now they replaced it with weak mobs. Weak mobs, weak mobs. These are awesome for evolving. So for those that are unaware, the basic formula for evolving is going to be killing the highest level possible mob with the least amount of people for as many. So weak mobs are basically quarter strength of a regular mob. They have the quarter hit points, quarter DPS on them, and they die quicker. They also give a quarter less experience. So if you're looking for AA, it's not as good as killing regular stuff, per se, but you're going to get a lot more evolve. So let's take a look. In this group here, I have a bunch of people that need evolve. Um, I'm certainly not going to be playing all five. I'm not that skilled or, no, but the wizard and the enchanter are just going to mooch. So let's look at this here. We have a nebulous cloak at 23. and we have it eclipsed at 74. So let's see about training the hell out of myself, and how much we could get in a single pull. So before, you could still train pull here, right? But it was a little bit harder because the placeholders, they hit for normal amounts. And let's just fort here just so that we could wait for the entire train to come in. More trickling in. Okay, here we go. And DPS time. So you see here, the bard is just saying some ADPS things, and I'm just DPSing as the warrior. So obviously, if you're in a full group, active people, this is going to be a cinch, right? I always like to show, that it's very doable even in group gear. Granted, Dropton is full raid gear, he's decked out, but if you have a full group of group players doing stuff, it should equal out. So we'll take a look at the parse and look into the evolves once this is dead. All right, let's go over here. So we got 1% there, which is not too bad. And maybe not one yet on the nebulous. Right, I think it was 24 before. God, I should have freaking wrote it down. Anyway, let's look at parses. In that poll, we had 32 mobs. All right, DPS here was a little bit over 3 million, but let's take a look at the tanking. All right, so tanking 36 mobs, or 32 mobs rather. Right, the DPS on me was like only 87k. Average hit of the weak mobs on a gear tank is 6,500, right? So that's really not bad. You don't need to do the monster pulls. Like, depending on your group, depending on your tank or whatever you want, you could break it down. But average hit is, maybe in a group gear, 8k or something. So it's pretty reasonable. Firefall Pass is pretty fast respawn time. So let's go get some more. Let's get the dinosaur things. And everything we're pulling is weak mobs. just double check. I should have gotten everything here. So when you're doing these, you want to just wait for them a little bit, otherwise they'll aggro the beetles below. All right, so I'm really happy with this change. Again, uh, from feedback and talking to people in the community, the cloak grind is not easy some for folks. So this is definitely going to make it better for people. If Firefall has happened to be full or this camp taken, I do like Paludal zoning by, um, zoning towards Shadoweave. There are a bunch of mushrooms there. There are some regular mobs. The mushrooms are weak mobs, so like that's always the theme of evolving, killing as many easy mobs as possible. Well, any mobs, but the weak mobs just happen to die quicker. There are those bug things that are normal mobs, so you'll have to deal with a couple for each big pull there. But the paludal mushrooms are higher level, so there's that. So you'll need like a tiny bit less kills per percentage if you happen to be there. Let's go look for more. It should be respawning soon. Yeah, and that's going to be all the weak mobs without having to pull the normal mobs. Where the hell are they? So this is going to be for Drinal specifically. Um, I feel some folks, that are not in raiding guilds or may not have accesses are still stuck at Challenger for evolving your cloak. Contact me, at Zarex on Discord or, Dizzy or anything, and we could certainly help out with some of the easy, like, some of the harder ones, kind of like cut the head and things like that. So that options is always available for folks under now. We do it, may not be right away, but depending on our schedule and time, we can make something happen, no problem. The other thing also I want to promote is our open raid center now. We're doing pretty good considering we just started, a couple of months ago. We're already down to just needing two raids for clearing the expansion, Under Siege and Deep Shade 2. So we're getting there. So it's gaining popularity. Last night we actually killed four targets, um, which is good. Three of them were first kills. So if you're on Drinal, you have Gina installed and reasonably geared and are able to listen and Discord and follow directions, I certainly encourage folks to join because, again, that's going to help unlock your cloak so that you could get it. Vanquisher is a different story. I'm not sure if that's going to happen in open raids or not, but certainly Conqueror to keep evolving your cloak, looks like it's definitely going to happen. So get on that if you're on Drinal. Ask for help on your challenger from us, and then what we call join our open raids for Conqueror unlocking your cloak. A little annoyed. Nezuko's cloak should have gained a tick by now. It must have been really like early 24. Looks like stuff respawned again. Let's do another big pull. Uh-oh, sell us down. See, you see, this is really nice. Oh, the other thing also, I forgot to mention, if you are in a group and actually need regular AA, get the mercenary quest, the one that kill the bugs and kill the dinosaur things, because you could repeat it every 10, 15 minutes or something like that, and it's like 15 AA, so it goes pretty quick. Killing, killing, killing. No, not yet. So basically, if you didn't know, eclipse versus nebula is times two. So if you get 1% in eclipse or 2% in eclipse, it will be equal to like one in nebula. We'll look at the parses again after this, and we'll be done. Yay, there it goes. Okay. Okay, so we started at 9:35, I think. 9:35, and we finished one repop. So basically two waves at 9:45. So 15 minutes, let's just say. In 15 minutes, we killed 83 mobs. Tanking wise, it seemed pretty consistent. I did hit some buttons at the end, so you'll see Soul, he got hit, Cleric 9k, so he's raid gear as well, but that's how it is. So average hit is going to be less than 10k for, anybody pretty much. DPS wise, as a group, we're about 2 million, which should be pretty reasonable for, a full group of active folks. So 15 minutes, 1% nebulous, 2% in eclipse, and do the math. It's quite quick. Anyway, so that's my exciting news for July changes to Firefall Pass. Take advantage of it. Summertime, population's less. Hopefully, zone is not as crowded and you could get the camp. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good one.